John Pollock here with UFC middleweight champion Michael the Count Bisping. We are here in New York City, and Michael, the title, UFC middleweight champion. It's one that I'm sure it hasn't got old yet, being introduced as champion after such a long journey to the championship.
You know, it feels incredible. It really does. And I got to say, I'm getting used to people calling me the champ. I'm getting used to walking into places. And you know that song, The Champ is Here, often they play that, things like that. It's awesome. You know, it's been a lifetime's work, and to have that is, it's very special.
Satisfying as the championship win was, how important was your first title defense? They always say a champion, they have to defend that title, and having a fight of the year on top of it with Dan Henderson. I mean, was that kind of the exclamation point that I've arrived here at the top of the middleweight mountain?
Yeah, I mean, winning the belt obviously was a massive deal for me, of course. But then going back to England, defending the belt, a successful defense, the circumstances surrounding it, you know, the fight being at 5 in the morning and things like that, it was incredible. The arena sold out in 6 minutes. The fight, you know, was an entertaining fight for everybody there. I enjoyed the fight, even though I got bust up pretty good. That, for me, was by far the highlight of my career, and something I'll never, ever forget. And yeah, you're right, they say you're not the champ until you've defended it. I've defended it now. Hopefully, after this weekend, we'll know who my next fight's going to be. And, you know, it'll be time to start going to work again, you know, against one of the top contenders. But, yeah, no, it's good.
And how is the eye now?
Oh, yeah, totally fine. I mean, they said I got a fractured orbital, but I don't know, it feels fine to me. So we'll see.
We are based out of Toronto, the site of UFC 206. What can you tell us about how close things came to you being on this card with one?
These are my friends from Toronto over there. I love that city. I filmed the Triple X movie, and I made some brothers for life over there. So, you know, my heart is strong in Toronto. So here's what happened. Dana White called me, offered me the fight with GSP. Of course, the fight's in Toronto, and I was like, wow, this is perfect. This is awesome. Of course, it's going to be the biggest payday of my career by far. GSP, you know, is a big, big pay-per-view star. So I agreed to the fight. They contacted George. I was staying in touch with Dana. They said the fight's almost there, but it's not done yet. When I returned from Dubai, I checked in again, and Dana was like, nah, we can't get a deal done. You know, they just couldn't see straight on a few issues. So, yeah, that was that. The fight was off, and I was massively, you know, the idea of a $3-4 million payday, it's good. You know what I mean? The carrot that they dangled in front of me was a nice carrot that I was looking to claim. And, of course, you know, I would have won that fight. I would have won that fight quite good. So to have GSP on my resume as well in Toronto, that would have been amazing. So couldn't get it done.
In terms of visualizing your path to this championship, you probably don't remember this, but right before your fight with CB Dollaway, I interviewed you and asked you, you know, your trajectory in the middleweight division. At that time, there were a lot of questions.
Sure.
You outlined you were going to beat CB Dollaway. You'd probably have to have another fight in that whole time, during which you expected Luke Rockhold would get the next middleweight title fight, beat Chris Weidman. That would set you up for the eventual rematch with Luke Rockhold, where you would beat him to become champion. Like, you nailed it. I mean, is this something that you look at ahead of time and you visualize your career path and outcomes and what you expect of yourself?
Sure, I do remember it. I remember it quite vividly because, you know, that is what I said to a lot of people. And
I'm also a memorable interviewer.
Oh, of course. How can I forget you? This guy is calling. I keep hanging up. He keeps hanging.
Is it George?
He keeps calling back. It ain't George, unfortunately, but, dude, where are you? I'm doing an interview if you're watching. Sorry, pardon me. For me, that was pretty obvious. I thought it was obvious that Rockhold would beat Weidman, and I knew that I wasn't going anywhere. I knew that I wasn't going to give up. I knew I could be the champion. I had belief in myself. So I thought Rockhold's going to get the belt, and I'll get a shot. I didn't expect it to be on short notice like what happened, but still, you know, eventually that is what happened.
Final question, ideal scenario for you to come back. There's so much going on in the middleweight division. There's no shortage of challengers. And is the George fight still something you want to pursue in the new year? There's a number of cards have been announced, including Brooklyn here at the Barclays Center. Many different options for you in 2017. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, for sure, the George fight is something that I would happily accept any time. Just for the record, I've got nothing against George St-Pierre. I think George is a class act. It's just a simple case of, you know, A, that would be a big payday. B, he's a legend. You know, so who doesn't want to do that? Of course. Now, I know there's a lot of people, this guy's driving me crazy, calling again. There's a lot of people criticizing me right now, saying I'm picking, you know, retired welterweights. That isn't the case. They offered me the fight. It's a big, big payday. So come on, get a grip. I fight for me. I fight for my family. I don't do it to keep some assholes on a couch happy. I do it for me. And if you like what I do, then thank you. I appreciate it. If not, oh well, jog on. Jacare has been spoken of. Dana called up and offered me Jacare, and I'm like, dude, that's in like 3 weeks. You know, I'm not ready for it. And people were saying, well, hold on, how are we going to fight GSP but not Jacare? I'm like, well, that was 4 weeks ago. You know, you can't call me now at the same card when I haven't been training, when he's been training for Rockhold. He's already in camp. You know, he's way ahead of me in that respect. I said, I'm not saying no to the fight. I'm just saying no to the short notice. You know, so if that's what they want to do, I'll happily do it. This weekend, Weidman and Yoel fight. Hopefully, Weidman gets the job done, and he can be my next fight. I've got a little history with Weidman, and, you know, I think that would sell some tickets.
Probably will, and thank you very much for the time, Michael.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thank you.